Welcome to another session of Live with David Lewis. I am your host, David Lewis, and I want to welcome you all today. New date for us. Now we're doing the show on Wednesday, and it's already showing us we're getting a ton more viewers, so I want to welcome everybody. I know Friday's been hard for some people. We also are getting a ton of international viewers this time, so great welcome. Today is Wednesday, June 15th, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast of the United States. Today our topic is going to be how to create customers for life. And that's a huge thing, because when you enter this industry and you become a salesperson, you obviously want to excel and do things. Some people want to be sales managers, general managers, own dealerships, but some are very content selling cars. There's nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of people that make a lot of money selling cars, and they're really good at it, and they enjoy what they do. So what do we need to do to create a customer for life? Well, the first step is we have to ask ourselves this question right before we even start with a customer. And that is, do I want to sell somebody a car, or do I want to make them a customer for life? Because there is absolutely two different approaches you're going to take depending on whether you want to sell a car or make a customer for life. Why is this important? It's important because of the experience the customer is going to have. It will ultimately depend, and it will ultimately answer that question of, will they become a customer for life? And at the end, I'm going to share with you a technique. So stay with me, that I'm telling you is going to triple and quadruple your sales over a period of time. Now, the next step is, are you willing to accomplish this goal? Are you willing to do what it takes? And the only acceptable answer is that you're going to do what the average salesperson is unwilling to do. You're going to be different, and you're going to be unique. So what do all great salespeople recognize when it comes to creating a customer for life? Well, first, they understand that time creates a commitment. The more time you spend with somebody and the quality of time you spend with them will create a better commitment. Commitment now turns them into loyalty, where they are now loyal to you because you've invested the time. And loyalty now becomes a customer for life. And that is clearly what we want to have. You do not want to be that salesperson 20 years from now that it's been working at the same dealership or in the same, town, and you're still selling 8, 10, 12 cars a month. It logically does not make sense that could happen. If you're selling 8, 10 cars a month now, every 5 years, you should be adding another 50%. You should be going 5 more, then another 5 more, then another 5 more every 8, 5, 6, 7 years. 20 years from now, you should be selling 30 cars a month. The important thing to remember when we go back about time is customers are not complaining about how much time it takes to buy a car. This is a big myth. So a lot of us are rushing through the process. Customers are complaining about how much time it takes after they say yes. That's where the problem is. Nobody comes into the dealership and rushes through the buying process. They want to take their time. They want to make sure they're getting the right car, the right color, the right option, the right features, and then the right price. It's all important. To build a customer for life, it's important to remember something about time, and that is that they're not complaining about it. To build a customer for life, you need to spend quality time with them. Time without value is dead time. It's dead time. It's wasted time. You cannot get back. Time with value creates quality time, and that's important. Now, when a customer comes to your dealership, what are their main fears? Well, their main fears are that they're going to be sold a car they don't want, they're going to be sold a car they don't need, and they're going to be sold a car they can't afford. So that's their fears coming in. If you want to have quality time with them, you have to overcome those fears. Now, govern your sales process with a set of rules, and you'll be successful. And we've talked about this in the past. Never ask a question that results in a lie. Don't give your customer an opportunity to lie to you, because then once they do that, it's going to create an environment where neither one of you are comfortable. It's sort of like, I know you lied, but we're not talking it out loud that you lied. Number 2, never ask a question that will get an answer you don't want to hear. Don't put yourself in a situation where psychological warfare will get to you, because then you cannot give quality time. You know how I am. I'm a big proponent about getting rid of trial closes. Never ask a question or make a statement that's going to make the customer more defensive. We don't want the customer more defensive. We want them less defensive. And unfortunately, our sales process is designed to make them more defensive. Those are the things you need to change. And number 4, you always have to try to catch your customer pleasantly off guard. Do the unexpected. They're expecting one thing, and you need to do another thing for them. Now, the positive effects of these 4 rules, we call them the rules of sale, that I just shared with you, is that it creates a customer that is more relaxed, that is happy, at ease, joyful, stressless, and minimal fear. And that's going to help you create the time to create the quality to get that customer for life. Now, the most important factor is this, that you do not violate these rules. All you have to remember are the fears and the defenses. The customer will block value if they have fears and defenses. How does a customer now block value? By refusing to do certain things. They refuse to sit in the car. They refuse to drive the car. They don't want to go back in the dealership after they've driven the car to get the numbers. They don't want you to take them through their service department. It's almost impossible to create a customer for life if you cannot get these things accomplished. So it's a multi-step process. Now, as you start to build your client base and your customers come in over a period of time and they're more comfortable with you, you won't have as many of these obstacles. Another important thing is your product knowledge. Customers love to do business with a person that knows their product, especially if they know more than you do. And a lot of times we have that in the truck environment, where a customer who's a truck buyer does their research and now they know more than the salesperson does. And they want to deal with someone who's prepared and can answer all their questions. Now, positive effects of knowing your product in and out, and I'm just going to read off my list here, is it changes the perception of the vehicle in a positive way. It gives the customer a positive view of the vehicle. It increases the trust that you know what you're doing, that you're capable. It increases the confidence that will lead them, that you will lead them to the right vehicle. It gives them assurances. It gives them faith in you in the process. It will remove any type of buyer's remorse. It will minimize the objections you will get, and you come across more as a guide than a salesperson. Once they feel you're trying to sell them something, they're going to block, and then you're going to have dead quality time. The next thing, if you want to build a customer for life, is you have to be prepared for your negotiations. And this is really important. Negotiations fall into one of the following categories. They're either easy or stressful. They're attacking or they're empathetic, and you're logical or you apply pressure. You've got to be careful with that. Clients who pay the most give the best CSI. Clients pay the least, give the lowest CSI. You need to be prepared for your negotiation step of the process. This is all part of building that customer in the initial investment time that you have. To create a customer for life, hold on, bear with me, let me do my notes. It's imperative that you are able to sell at a first pencil. I know it's hard, but it's easier today. It's going to get harder again. It was hard, now it's easy, then it's going to get hard. Why was it hard before? Because we negotiated. Why is it easy now? Because we have an inventory issue. We can actually say, this is the price, take it or leave it, in a very polite way. If they don't, they leave it. We know we're going to sell the car to someone else for the same price. But this is not a forever situation. We are already seeing inventory come through. We are seeing cars come. So this is starting to go by the wayside. Now comes the important part of building a customer for life. And this is where I struggle the most. I mean, I truly, truly struggle with this. A lot of salespeople tell their customer they will take care of them after the sale. You and I both know that that is a bunch of hogwash. They don't plan on taking care of them after the sale. And I want to go back to a scenario I gave you before. And this is just mind-boggling to me. You get a salesperson and he's been selling cars, let's say, for 15 years at the same dealership. We'll make this easy. And 15 years ago, he sold 10 cars a month on average, and now he sells 12 cars a month on average. How can that be humanly possible? It is impossible. We have proven the impossibility. If you sell 10 cars in your first month in the business, those people know people, friends, family, coworkers, B-backs. You would have to think over the next 3 to 5 years, if you did that right, some of those 10 would come back to you and buy another car. Let's say it's 2. And some of those people would have to send referrals. Let's say it's 1. Now it's 3. So now in 4 or 5 years, you're still selling your 10 cars a month, plus the 3 that you got as a B-back and you got as a referral. There's 13. Now those numbers are going to start to multiply. Another 3 to 5 years, you should be getting 4 or 5 of those back and getting 2 referrals. You're still selling your 10, and now you're selling 14, 15, 16 cars a month. By the time you get to 15, 20 years, you should be selling 25, 30, 35 cars a month. But here's the problem. We were never taught how to follow up. We were never taught. I have a friend of mine, and he always beats me up on this. Don't send me a birthday card on my birthday. Don't call me on my birthday. Don't send me an email. Don't send me a text message. Okay? I'm a grown man. I don't need another grown man or grown woman sending me a birthday, especially a car salesperson. All it says to me is that you are checking a box on some sort of computer system that says, hey, today is David's birthday. Stay in touch with him. Send him a birthday wish. That doesn't work for me. Calling me up at month 35 of a 36-month lease, asking me to renew my lease, that doesn't work for me either. Calling me up 3 days after I bought my car to see how things are going, that works. And then asking me for referrals, that does not work. Calling me up in a year, asking me for referrals, that does not work. Calling me up at the 45th month and I have a 72-month loan, telling me there's a promotion going on and I haven't heard from you in the last 3.5 years, that doesn't work. I understand what you're doing. You really want to earn my business for life? Take care of me. Here's the best way to do it. Become my customer liaison. It's all you got to do. Every 6 months, reach out to me. Email, not the best. Call, better. Text, great. And just remind me of things. If you called me in 6 months, Mr. Lewis, this is Bob over at the dealership. I hope everything's going well with the car. I'm just calling to remind you your car's due for the first oil change. Not sure if the light has come on yet or if you're getting close. If you'd like me to make an appointment for you, please let me know. I'm happy to do it for you. Whether that's a voicemail, a text, or you talk to me in person, you've got to have a reason to call me. In month 12, call me again, Mr. Lewis. Hope everything's going well. Just want to remind you, oil change time, and we do recommended tire rotation. Every 6 months, have a meaningful reason to reach out to me. Now, when you do get me on the phone, don't ask me for references. I'm not going to give them to you. I have to think, and I'm guessing at this number. If you asked 100 of your customers for references, how many would give them? 2, 3? And are these people they're giving as references really people that are in the market for a car? Here's the thing. You take good care of me. I'll tell people about you. I'm not going to go out and solicit for you, but think about it. You're in month, I've had my car 2-3 years. You're calling me every 6 months. I'm out at an event. Someone says, I'm looking to buy a car. I say, oh, I got to tell you who to go see. You got to go see Bob over at the local dealership. The guy's great. He stays in touch with me. He doesn't pressure me. He's kind. He's courteous. He makes sure I do all my maintenance on a regular basis. That is creating a customer for life. It truly, truly is. Here's the thing. When I'm due to renew my lease or in 5 years get a new car, it's going to be hard for me not to come to you, not to reach out to you. You've taken care of me. Now, I might reach out to you and say, listen, I appreciate it, but I've decided to go with a different brand. I want to try something else. But you've done the right thing. Think about this. Again, we go to that 20-year sales guy who's been selling cars for 20 years. If he had done this with every single customer for the last 20 years, how many cars would that salesperson be selling a month? My goodness. And now we've got social media. We can hook with people on social media. We can put out little things about their car or information that doesn't come across as a direct solicitation, but a solicitation through social media, because now I might follow you. You want to take this one step further? I'll give you one step further. You don't sell everybody a car. Some people buy other cars. I come in looking for a Honda. I decide to buy a Toyota. So you know what the Honda salesman does when he finds out I bought a Toyota? He gets mad. Maybe he or she doesn't portray that anger over the phone, but I tell you what, as soon as they hang up the phone, they take that lead sheet, throw it in the trash, and they forget about me forever. They had a great connection, and they threw me in the trash. So here's what I would do. If you bought somebody else's product, I'm still going to follow up with you every 6 months. If I sell Hondas and you bought a Toyota, I would call you up in 6 months. How's the Toyota going? Great. Hey, it's a fantastic car. Listen, I'm not sure if your Toyota salesperson is staying in touch with you, but Hondas, just like Toyotas, they recommend that oil change every 6 months. Just wanted to remind you. We'd love to do it for you here at the dealership. We do all makes and models, but if you want to bring it back to the Toyota dealership, we fully understand. I just wanted to remind you. I said, hey, thanks. It's great. No request for referrals. No request to buy another car. It's just doing good stuff. I'm going to call that guy back in 6 months and in 18 and in 24. And you know what? At some point, someone's going to say, hey, I'm looking for a car. You're going to say, oh my gosh, you got to go talk to this guy. I didn't buy a car from him and he still stays in touch with me. He's a wonderful person. He doesn't pressure you, push you. I'm ready to buy a new car myself. I might look at, you know what? I will give the Honda a try. This is a relationship building business. You know, I've joked about this for years and years and years. There's only 2 jobs I would ever take in a car dealership, and I've had a lot of them. I'd either be a salesperson or I do enjoy F&I. My F&I desires are for different reasons, but I would sell cars in a heartbeat because you know what? I know I could sell a ton of cars. And the best part of all is I think it's fun. But I have a saying. I bring the fun with me. I get people that are in bad moods. I bring fun. We have fun. I want to have fun selling cars. It should be a fun experience. I know it's fun for me because I like making money. So when I sell a car, it gets me on an emotional high. And when I sell 2 cars in one day or 3 cars in one day, now I'm really higher than a kite. And to me, that's important. And the only way you're going to do that is to build a customer for life, to have the right presentation and do all the right things. Let me give you a couple of final thoughts here. I got a couple of questions I'll answer real quick. Final thoughts. Don't try to sell cars. Help people buy cars. Don't be that pushy salespeople. Help them buy a car. Go above and beyond the client's expectations. Treat every client as if they were your own parent, how you would treat your parent. Take your time and be thorough. Be quick, but don't rush people. Never skip any steps, and keep your name in their brand at all times. That's the follow-up. So let me click on, I got a couple of questions. We'll answer a couple of them. Maggie wants to know, with all the dealerships charging high addendum fees due to inventory, do you think this will continue to support those dealerships when the industry normalizes? Maggie, I don't understand your question, but I think what you're saying is, if I take advantage of somebody, which you're not doing so, because it's a supply and demand and they have to pay more than they want to, are they still going to come back to me later on? And the answer is yes, 1,000%, as long as you stay in touch with them and you do the right things. Carlos wants to know, you mentioned follow-up in your presentation. How often should I follow up? Well, you obviously clicked on this before I finished, wrote me that question. Carlos, every 6 months. Come up with a time frame. Once a year is way too long. Every 2-3 months is way too much. Every 6-7 months I like. Okay, Glenn with 1,000 ends on it. Don't you think customers really only want the lowest price? No, I don't. Do I think some do? Sure. I don't think price has anything to do with what they buy. Let me rephrase that. I think some people do. 3% of the American population is on a fixed income. Elderly people, they have $3,400 a month to spend. Do I think $20 a month more in a car payment means something to them? Yes, absolutely. I truly do. But will people pay more to get what they want? Absolutely. Have you seen the price of some of these cars that people are spending money on? Of course they'll pay for it. It's not the lowest price. It's what they want, and then it's who they want to buy it from and where they want to get it. That's my thing. All right, one more. Kia conference room. I've always been taught to ask for referrals continuously, especially before the customer leaves with their new car. Again, why do you disagree with this, and your thoughts? Kia conference room, I disagree with this because I got to tell you, I would never give you a referral. I'm never going to give you the name of my friends and family so you can call and bug them for a new car. And I think most people are like that. Now, I know you all have these kind of spiff programs. We'll make your first payment. We'll give you $250. That's great. But you know what you're doing? You're calling people that aren't even in the market. Okay. It's mental frustration. You're calling these people and trying to beat them up to come in to buy a car. And I just don't think the energy is worth the psychological warfare of driving me down. If you could prove to me that you're selling cars consistently at a reasonable rate off of referrals that you've asked for, you can change my mind. But nobody has ever done that yet. I just don't think it's the right way to go. I think the rate of selling a car for a referral is 0.000001. And I think the rate of getting referrals is less than 3%. And I think that the other 97%, it makes people mad. And it just, I mean, and if you ask me a second time, then I'm going to really get mad. I'm a polite person. If you ask me, I'll say, no, I don't feel comfortable. If somebody asks me, they're looking for a car, I'll gladly send them your way. But I'm just not a big fan of that. I'm not a fan of the birthday cards. And I know some of you will disagree with me, and that's fine. We're all entitled to our opinions. I just think stay in touch with the customer on a regular basis, maintenance related things, have a reason to call them that's not self-centered, that's about them. And I'm promising you, you will earn a customer for life. Good luck, everyone, and please be safe. And I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.